Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. There's some two things that keeps on annoying William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, but sadly enough, they're things that cannot change, or they're here. And I want to start by saying, one is I salute the boldness of Sabina Chege to bolt out of that press briefing that was called by Kanini just to hit out on raiding Uhuru party. I really take that sometimes it's good to have the consciousness, because immediately Uhuru Kenyatta came out, it is so sad that the Kenya Kwanza team have narrowed down all those two problems they're having with the opposition, and that has been narrowed down to one man, Uhuru Kenyatta. And due to that, there's some two devices, some two strategies that have been devised against Uhuru Kenyatta in the wake of those two incidences. And I ask again, for how long shall Mount Kenya be used to attack Uhuru Kenyatta? There is this story about emergence of Mungiki. It's been reused, and I think they've ran out of creative ideas, and it's been recycled whenever someone is thinking about annoying Uhuru Kenyatta. I wanted to look at this newspaper headline. This headline, I think, ran early this week. If it was Monday, it was not Monday, it was Tuesday. And I've read the article by the Star, and I'm like, I think even us in the media space, we need to be very objective. So they came out, and immediately that headline was out. There was a presser, I think that was last weekend, by a caucus of women leaders from Mount Kenya, asking for Kindiki to rein on an imaginary emergence of Mungiki.
There is a real danger caused by the attempts to revive Mungiki today. This means rekindling the flames of violence, fear, and destruction that once engulfed our communities. It would undo the progress made in restoring peace and stability, and once again subject innocent citizens to the horrors of extortion, intimidation.
Informed by imminent threat to life and property, we readers and mothers from Mount Kenya Legion do hereby now wish to unreservedly and unequivocally condemn any attempt by people of ill will and motives to revive the Mungiki sect for their own selfish ends, aimed at creating political instability within our legion.
Tunaambia Kithure Kindiki, sasa we cheza kama michuki. Tokezea usikike. Tunataka kukusikia kwa mlima ukisema enough is enough. Kama sisi wamama tumesema tumechoka, na hakuna akiwa utawazana na hii, sisi kama wamama wa mlima hatutasimama na wewe.
So I want to say this very objectively. Emergence of Mungiki does not start as a story. You know, Mungiki return is not something to start in a press briefing. There is no single story that has been done by any media outlet in this country about some group of women, or some group of men hangaisharing watu in this Mount Kenya. Just even to try attribute a point of Mungiki. What was released sometime was a list of some 16 names, 16 gangsters released by, I think that was released by William Ruto. That allegedly these gangsters are the ones that, their gangs have been terrorizing Kenyans, especially in different towns. Now, there's none that was called Mungiki at one point. But these women leaders came out and started peddling a narrative that there is re-emergence of Mungiki. Now, the man on target here is Maina Njenga. And, I have seen Pauline Njoroge, my good friend Pauline Njoroge, has come out, and I believe Pauline Njoroge speaks the mind of Uhuru Kenyatta, speaks for Uhuru Kenyatta. And she said that Maina Njenga has largely been linked with Uhuru Kenyatta. Well, that is far from the truth. Maina Njenga has been moving in Mount Kenya, some men's conference, and of course attracting huge crowds. And we were asking, what exactly is the end game? Now, what then shocked many is that he's been pulling publicity stunts and the media directly linking his activities to Uhuru Kenyatta. And so the narrative of Mungiki was actually brought forth to try to link what they are doing, what Maina Njenga team are doing, to Uhuru Kenyatta. And that is the baseline. That someone wants to drive a narrative that Uhuru is around trying to sponsor some Mungiki sect or something. That is far from the truth. And that strategy has been clearly implemented by them through the emergence. It's thriving through the emergence of Maina Njenga. That's why that narrative is thriving. And if you want to know, when he was being presented in Nakuru court, he was to appear in Nakuru court. You'll see videos about how police, allegedly were blocking and creating some imaginary threats that because he's going to court, there was a heavy presence of police contingent, attracted attention, and now even blocking people that were going there. And honestly, there was nothing. But that was created. Those scenes are being created, or that tension is being created to boost his profile, as if there is some fugitive that is being taken to court. While in real sense, that was just the making of a political narrative that there is emergence of Mungiki. And remember, the charges that Maina Njenga is facing in court is some trumped up charges about, some weapons were found with. And those are things you saw, those videos. You saw videos that emerged a day before Maina Njenga was even arrested. So the Mungiki narrative is number one. Number two is that the state seems to have recycled the Uhuru, the Jubilee party takeover. And something happened yesterday. So yesterday there was a press briefing, there was a press invite in some WhatsApp group where we are. And in that WhatsApp group, they did not specify. Nowadays, even if you get a press invite from Jubilee Party, you are likely to know, you are more tempted to ask, not you're more tempted, it's now a common practice, you ask, is it Jeremiah Kioni faction or it is Kanini Kega faction? So we didn't know which faction was that. So as what we did, I sent one of my correspondents here from the team bold. And of course, the media invite was, I think, let me just look at it. Where's my phone? Yes, I even have it here. Yes, the media invite was just reading Jubilee Party. Yes, Jubilee Party. So, we didn't know. So the correspondent I sent there went there, and even the soldiers did not allow them to get in. Because according to them, there was nothing like that, and the offices were even closed. So there was nothing like that. Only later, for us to see Kanini Chege sending some press invite, he dropped them. They were dropped in our emails. And even went live and did this press briefing. I want you to listen to that.
Remind him that he is in that office courtesy of a conservatory order, which of course has its limitations. And I want to highlight some of the cases that we have. We would like our members to know that the multiple court cases filed by Honorable Kioni following his expulsion from the party are pending hearing and determination, and it is only a matter of time before they are concluded. We have continued to obey the conservatory orders issued in those cases that require the status quo of Jubilee, of the leadership of Jubilee to be maintained as per the Gazette Notice number 3195 of 22nd March 2022, which I have also attached here, and I will also be able to provide, pending the determination of the Kioni's appeal. We want to say that Kioni is abusing the court process. he is only in that active position courtesy of a conservatory order, and for sure he has been usurping powers that he doesn't have. It is perturbing, however, that Kioni continues to abuse this goodwill from the courts, while the court cases are ongoing and while the conservatory orders are in place. Kioni has purported to single-handedly reorganize the organs of the party, which is not only highly presumptuous, it is also gross in contempt of court. While Kioni's wanting leadership style is not surprising to the leadership of Jubilee, it is also important that we clarify to our members that Kioni does not have powers to do the following things that he has been doing lately. 1, purporting to convene any party organ meeting. 2, purporting to replace NEC members with non-members in Jubilee. 3, writing dismissal letters to members of Internal Dispute Resolution Committee and the National Disciplinary Committee. 4, writing to speakers of the Senate, National Assemblies, and County Assemblies on purported changes to leadership and committee membership in the respective houses. The latest being letters he has written to the County Assembly of Meru, trying to direct how members are going to vote or are going to carry out themselves. And 5, writing to the registrar of political parties.
Now, you will realize one thing, that he was in that press briefing alone. Who does that? Who does that? He was talking there, one person. And I understand even Sabina Chege skipped it. Remember, Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega were the face of that coup. They were the face of that coup d'etat at the Jubilee party. But as when this was coming, and what Nani went there to react about, what Kanini Kega went there to react about, is the fact that some 8 members of the Jubilee leadership were given jobs, were given state appointments, and by the virtue of the constitution, if you take state appointments, you cannot hold a party position. That is not a Jeremiah Kioni thing or a Jubilee party thing, it's in our constitution of the land. So Jubilee party replaced those officials that were given state appointments. So he went there to react that, you know what, Jeremiah Kioni cannot act on behalf, while the party leader of Jubilee party is Uhuru Kenyatta. So he went there allegedly to do something. And we understand that this press briefing could have been done somewhere because he had already printed his own Jubilee stuff and now put it behind and do that one press briefing. He was alone. And Sabina Chege, who was to be the deputy party leader, kept off. I understand that Sabina Chege saw the red flags when she was expulsed as the deputy minority leader in the National Assembly. She did not get the backing of even the other Jubilee members of parliament. And a number of Jubilee members of parliament even supported the young Mark Mwenje against Sabina Chege. So she realized it's not going to be viable. And of course, she wasn't going to be part of that shenanigan. Now, but just to understand, I want you to make it this way. Realize that Kanini Keke was alone, and I think he's not just learning the big lesson. Do you know that there was a press briefing recently, and I want to play for you that video, where the Northeastern leaders were speaking and were attacking Gachagua and Ruto of the El Nino. Adam Kenyan, who is a member of the Jubilee party, which is supposed to be an affiliate party of UDA, was seated next to Billy Okero and was part of that team that were attacking Kenya Kwanza on the El Nino stuff.
Mr. President Ruto, move with speed. This is the biggest litmus test for your own administration. And rein in your deputy president. Let him understand he's there a heartbeat away from the presidency of this country. God forbid, but if anything were to happen to President Ruto, he steps in there. But the way he's talking right now is not befitting of a person of that kind of a leadership. So we want to see results. And when we talk like that tough, it's because of the pains that are there. Waterborne diseases have already set in. Mothers who have delivered cannot even get porridge. Power stations have shut down because there's no fuel. Not just in Mandera, all of them. And it's as if nothing has happened in our country here. 2 million, the lives of over 2 million people are at risk. In the biggest or the worst, what do you call, El Nino that we have seen, at least in all that I can recollect myself and remember. And I'm not a young man. And our government is mum. It's just sitting there. Whenever there are disasters of this nature anywhere in the world, including the most developed countries, the economy of Florida as a state in the US is more than 10 times the economy of Kenya. And whenever there are things like that, floods, hurricanes, typhoons, the Federal Emergency Management Agency of the US steps in. President of this from Washington DC goes there to see how it's going. Coordination. The biggest economies in the world, when they have an earthquake, the whole world, they make an appeal to the whole world. We haven't made an appeal right now to the globe. This disaster is of a magnitude that even Kenya government cannot cope with it on its own without the support of the international community. Why are people not talking about it? Why is this government sitting on its very, very happy? So we're calling on the government, as a matter of emergency, an agency, to immediately declare the national disaster in here and make an appeal, a flash appeal to the international community. They need air droppings. Food has got to be dropped from there. Massive helicopters, which can transport 10 tons, more than 10 tons, must be deployed. 2 million people who do not have their livelihood is not a small number. I know we'll have a problem dealing with it alone as a country.
And Mount Kenya leaders, and especially those who have been sharpened against Uhuru Kenyatta, must understand that they must allow the country to put William Ruto accountable. You know, the political party patronage and the love and all that flowery praises is not going to change the situation. Because if things are bad, if William Ruto communicated wrongly on El Nino, did a miscommunication on El Nino, and now El Nino is here with us, and it might have affected some budget estimates, or even the El Nino money is not being seen, those are things that the country just need to ask. If it is about the fuel, the country need to ask those things. And it is not very true that, it is not very decent that when Uhuru says, you guys, stop blaming me, work, then you are all available, guns for hire on that. No. Leave the president, also, let kama huko kwao, if from the Rift Valley, the Keteris and Cherargei are saying it as it is. But Mount Kenya bit timid, and for them, they're just available for protecting William Ruto. For what? Let the country be free and don't be chained, because either way, you are not winning. I'm going to tell, and I think we are here, we are telling Mount Kenya, even people from Mount Kenya support our channel, listen to our videos. It is very true that there's some lack of consciousness, especially amongst the leaders, and it is upon the public to make sure that lies depart from the truth. Yes, and this is the truth. These are kicks of a dying horse. The truth here is Ruto Mojo in Mount Kenya has declined and continues to decline. It's already low and it continues to go low. So even if you'll be part of a strategy to protect the Kenya Kwanza administration and to protect William Ruto on every front, there is no guarantee that you can still ride on Ruto Mojo in Mount Kenya. Not as of 2022. There is no more hustler nation in Mount Kenya. What has remained are just desperate hustlers. There is no more. The hustler nation was, it was done for Mount Kenya. And I think the other time I was in Nyeri when I was driving back, I gave some guy a lift and he told me that Wakikuyu ni watu ambao wako na huruma sana, and I think it's very true. And he said that Ruto alikuja alilialia. So he cried there until, people are very empathetic, and yes, they had to. And that mojo is no longer there. So even if you will do all that, and don't believe that maybe Ruto will come and endorse you, I'm telling you, what is going to happen is going to be very different. You will see even giant politicians falling because of lack of Ruto mojo. Number two, someone should not have even an iota of doubt. William Ruto is not going to pick his successor from Mount Kenya. He's not. Two reasons why I'm saying that. Listen to what Cherorgei said in Bomet. When he was downplaying succession politics, he said that Ruto himself will appoint his successor, and that his successor will come from that place. He said it. It is the same thing. You can also listen to what Boni Khalwale is saying. Boni Khalwale is a ranking member of the assembly and one of the most politicians in this country. You cannot compare Boni with these other young politicians. And my friend Boni Khalwale says Ruto is going to appoint someone from Western. Now, there is one thing you know, that the likelihood of Ruto even not appointing his successor or secretly supporting someone else is very high. So just like the other regions, the other parts of the country are rational about Kenya Kwanza, Mount Kenya leaders, that caucus of Mount Kenya leaders must also be very rational about this and stop being, for lack of a better word, being myopic, like patronage. That patronage is not going to help. And the third truth, why I believe they're getting it wrong. The government patronage, Mount Kenya patronage on Kenya Kwanza, is not reciprocated, even in terms of what they're getting, even in terms of development. I have listened to Veronica Maina, nominated senator, who is in the speakers, I think she's also in the speakers panel, I think so. When Murkomen appeared in parliament, she was confronting Murkomen that why is it that the Mau Mau Road, which is supposed to help like 6 counties of Mount Kenya, is yet to be completed, while it has quite a big part of it has been done, a big percentage of it has been done. So these questions are here. Now, if you want to win, and we've been openly saying, if you want to reap big from Kenya Kwanza, you need to threaten William Ruto that we can even withdraw our support from you. With that, Ruto will take every resources to Mount Kenya, because he knows very well that without Mount Kenya, he doesn't have a space. So I wish that leaders get to understand, and leaders understand very well that it is not about just patronage. It is just about doing the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, as I finish, I want to remind you about Surmount Office Solutions. Surmount Office Solutions are the best solutions in town when you want to replace your office, or when you want to repair your office photocopy, And what you can do is you can contact Samount directly through their number. They have the number down there in the screen. If you have a photocopier machine that has been destroyed and you want to repair or you want to acquire a new one, you need the furnitures, not the furnitures, but other office stationaries, contact Samount through their number there and you will get a solution. This much there, a young man really doing some amazing work will actually help you get the best. Thank you.